And here was one of the things that I learned from Bo Eason, who's one of my mentors. He's one of my speaking coaches. And Bo Eason was an NFL All-Pro safety in the NFL, a safe defender. And he set a goal when he was in his less than 10 years old in elementary school that he was going to be the best safety in the NFL. Literally, he set a goal. He wrote a 20-year plan as an elementary student to become the best. Incidentally, at age 27, he was All-Pro safety for the Houston Oilers. And as I listened to Bo Eason talk about his story, and if you ever get a chance to see the Runt of the Litter, which no longer is performing, but if you ever get a chance to see it on video, and he does still perform it occasionally for his special audiences, if you ever get a chance to see it, it's life-changing, because here as a little boy, his problem was he was not a stud athlete. Now, he had a brother, Tony Eaton, that was. And Tony Eaton was an NFL Super Bowl quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. For the Patriots, for the New England Patriots. It was Tony Eason, right? So Tony Eason became one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And so his dad used to tell him, Bo, you're not like your brother. He said, this is very powerful for me because it changed my life. So he said, your brother is naturally one of the best, but you're not. So you're going to have to work at it. And so Bo made a decision as a kid that he would catch 1,000 passes a day, every day. And he did that every single day his life growing up. He said, I caught 1,000 passes every day. He said, the challenge is finding somebody to throw the ball to you 1,000 times a day. So guess who threw him the ball 1,000 times a day? His brother. And he credits his brother becoming a great quarterback. He said, because how could you not be a great quarterback when you're having to throw 1,000 passes a day for your entire life growing up? But that was his commitment. And he said, I was committed to be the best. And he said, we had a rule in our house. Or I had a rule for myself. This became a rule in his house for his children. He said, here's the rule. The ball doesn't touch the ground. That's the rule. What's the rule? The ball doesn't touch the ground. Why? Because the best don't drop the ball. How many of you have ever dropped the ball in your life? Dropped the ball in your business? Yeah. How about this as a new rule? The ball doesn't touch the ground. I never dropped the ball. Now, are you going to ever drop the ball? No. It's life. Things are going to happen. Understand that. There's not been ever an NFL player or anybody in any professional athletics that's not made a mistake, that's not dropped the ball, right? It always is going to happen. The best of the best have turnovers. The best of the best make mistakes. But is their intention to ever drop the ball? Never. What is their belief? Never drop the ball. Does anybody know who the all-time leading scorer, I think this is right, in the NFL of all time is? Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was a wide receiver for the championship San Francisco 49ers. One of the greatest teams ever, arguably one of the greatest players in NFL history. So Bo Eason, after becoming All-Pro at Houston, was traded to San Francisco 49ers for the last part of his career. And he said, I was always the first one to show up at practice. Does that surprise you for somebody who wants to be the best? No. My rule was I'm the first one to show up and the last one to leave. And he said, that was always the case until I got to San Francisco. And he said, I got there 2 hours before practice, and Jerry Rice was already sweating. And he said, I was so ticked off that somebody else had got to practice before me. And he said, first day of practice, he watched, and when they do warm-ups, the quarterback just takes a hut, and then what does the receivers do? They just line up, and they just trot out, catch the ball, toss it back, run back, get in line, and they just do that, and that's how they warm up. Boom, boom. So the receiver, he's back here, hut, and then they just trot back, toss the thing, and they go back, get in line. And he said, everybody does that. That's the NFL practice. He said, and then Jerry Rice came up. And he said, when Jerry Rice came up, quarterback, same thing, hut. And he said, Jerry Rice didn't just trot. Jerry Rice went full sprint, bam, bam, bam. Hard fake, turns, catches the ball. As soon as he catches it, full speed, sprints down the practice field all the way to the end zone. And Bo said, I saw that, and I'm just kind of like double taking, like, what's he doing? He did that every single time in practice. And so Bo, being Bo Eason, committed to be the best, he's looking at this guy, Jerry Rice, probably one of the best ever, if not the best ever. And he said, I'm curious why you do that. Here was Jerry's answer. You guys want Jerry's answer? Yes. Jerry Rice, leading scorer in NFL history, he said, because every time the football touches these hands, this body ends up in the end zone. Everybody go, whoa. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that way about your listing presentation?
I do now.
I know you do, Richard Lee. Because Richard Lee sat in this room a year ago at the last W Listing Power Training Camp. And where's your business now compared to this time last year?
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So I know in January, year over year, you were like 4 times the escrows you had the year before. Is that right? So they've changed their business.
Yes. Changed their life.
Change their life. Okay, change your business. If you do it right, it'll change your life. Yeah, let's give it up for them. Awesome. Thank you, whoever started that applause. That was very appropriate. That was awesome. These guys, Richard and Fran, are awesome. And so you've got to have that mentality. When this body gets a listing appointment, this professional gets a listing. Yeah.
That's profound.
You guys with me?
Yes.
When this body, when these hands touch the ball, this body ends up in the end zone. What a profound value. Just the way you approach your life, the way you approach your business. How you do anything is how you do everything.